Hey, what is going on, guys? It has been a minute since we did a live stream, so it's going to be a little while before we get this thing back up and going, and with quite a few people in here. At one point, we had 40 to 50 people in here. I stopped doing pre-market analysis, kept the bias out of it, but I miss you guys. I think this was helpful for a lot, so we're going to start going over not only some of the nano caps, small caps. We're going to go over mid cap, large caps, pretty much everything that would be beneficial to you guys. So what is hot this morning? Market's pulling back a little bit this morning. We got a lot going on. We're going to go over everything. Got about 15-20 minutes. Got a lot to go over. So as you guys are just in and out, I'm just going to go over everything. You can rewind it, fast forward it, do whatever you need to do. But traders, let's get straight into the video. For if anybody is in here this morning, let me know that this is working okay. Audio's good, video's good, because it has been a minute. We were doing this like half a year ago, and it's been a little while. So just making sure everything's working good and clear on you guys' end. The first one I want to go over right now is EROS. EROS. This one is grinding this morning. This one's on the scanners. You guys see these right now. EROS, gap up watch list. For those who are not familiar, I know we got some new guys in Avery day trading this morning. We got the gap up watch list over here. I'm going to explain this real quick, then we'll get into it. Gap down watch list. The market summary, going over exactly what's going on in the overall market condition, market sentiment. Then we got the bear scan watch list. This is my favorite one to go over. So we're going to see stocks that are overbought for some good short side potential. These in the middle intensity scanners, these are more so for when the market is live, when the market is open, and we're going to be finding hot moves, overbought and oversold conditions to be scooping the fear on up and short selling that euphoria. So on the gap up watch list, some of these that are popping up right now we're going to go over, such as CYCC, AVCO, EROS. EROS this morning had a merger agreement. With STX Filmworks. Now, we're going to pull up their chart. EROS. There she is. EROS already hit 485. This one's not necessarily a low float stock, but it is. It's got like 100, 200 million in the float. But it does have some range on it. So there's some opportunity here on both the long and short side. Yesterday at the close, we did gap up. Here's some probably insiders scooping this on up before the news was released. Maybe some news was released here. $2 up to 424 in pre-market right now. So over 100% increase. Now, what's the news? They got a merger agreement going on with Filmworks. Mergers usually do bring in a good amount of volume, especially if you're merging with a reputable company. If we take a look at its past chart history here, 3-year chart, we see, let's look at some other days with similar volume to this. 25, 30, 35 million shares traded. We're looking at the volume here. And we do see that this one, it has a little bit of range. Not the whole lot, but 0.2 point intraday if we're lucky on this type of volume. We do have some resistance up here around the 490s. You see these upper shadows right up in here. We're going to zoom into it so you guys can see that. Up around here in the 480s, 5s, about 485. And guess where it topped out in pre-market this morning? 485. So past chart history is huge, guys. Just be aware of that. This one may be a little overdone here in pre-market. Does have the merger agreement for you guys to be aware of. Does have decent range. Last time we saw this type of volume, it did move about a point or two. So EROS, that's the word on the street there. Let's continue down the list. We're going to start looking at CYCC. That's our top leader on the gap up watch list at the moment. CYCC. They are a recent pump, and this gets a lot of longs excited. This gets, quite frankly, a lot of people excited because there's a good amount of opportunity both on the long and short side. Let's take a look at this 20 days. So CYCC, they did come out with a reverse split recently. Reverse split, this is what they came out with last Wednesday, actually. This stock was priced at like 15 cents, 20 cents. And They did a reverse split. You have to be in compliance with the NASDAQ. You cannot be under $1 if you're under $1 for 6 months, you get delisted. Then you'll be going to like pink sheets or something. So OTC market. So what they did was they did a 1 for 20 reverse split. That shot this thing up. And what do companies typically do after they come out with a reverse stock split? What do? Usually what they're going to be doing is coming out with news. Now, why is that? Companies come out with 1 for 20 reverse split. That's going to, really create the stock to be a low float. Lesser shares out there, creates a bigger rip, more demand, that sort of thing. What they're going to do is come out. What's the hottest news right now, guys? What do you think CYCC, what kind of news you guys think that they came out with? And I don't even know if anybody's watching right now. It's been 6 months. We're gonna if we're gonna get this thing going again, we're gonna have to start being more consistent with it. I do like pre-market analysis with you guys, but it is a little bit of work, but I'm happy to do it. And if we're gonna get this thing up and running with a lot of guys in here again, we're gonna have to start doing this every morning. But CYCC, what happened is they came out with COVID-19 news. Yeah. A lot of companies are right now. That's what's hot. So it's a pharmaceutical company. They reported a collaboration with the University of Edinburgh to study its CDK inhibitors to reduce runaway inflammation in COVID-19. So anything COVID-19 related is hot at the moment. And especially after the reverse split. So this stock was at 15 cents. Came out with 1 for 20 reverse stock split. A couple days later, they came out with that news, and now we're back up towards those highs. So keep this one on watch. CYCC can certainly be pumped. There's this chart. Taking a look at its overall chart history, not the best. Not the best. Not the most impressed here if I'm, wanting to be a long-term investor. Not something I'm going to be looking at. But CYCC, just keep it on watch for a little pump there. It's got the news. It got the reverse stock split. It's going to have pumpers involved in it. It's got people excited for that news that came out on the COVID-19. 1144 it did hit when that 1 for 20 reverse stock split came out on Wednesday. So this one, it tested that already in pre-mark here. You guys see that at 1140. So we'll see what happens. CYCC, keep it on watch. It's a no-go for me, most likely. I like to stick to the easier stuff, but keep it on watch. Another COVID-19 related play today is NBY. So NBY, let's pull that one up. That one is NBY. Yeah, so NBY, it rose 107.9%. The company signed an agreement to distribute COVID-19 antibody rapid point-of-care tests to the U.S. healthcare professionals. This one, so normally when we're looking at these stocks, guys, we do 3 types of analysis, right? Fundamentals is not everything. I've come to the point where I just trade pretty much off of price action. Technical analysis. As day traders, we're just looking for those windows of opportunity. I'm not looking to bag hold. I'm not looking to... Eric, what would be the easy, Kevin? What's going on, man? So when I said easy, I mean floats that are a little bit larger. And I'm going to get into one of the plays I'm looking at this morning that is going to be easier for me, at least. Something that when you find more of your edge, you will kind of recognize what's easy. When these stocks like CYCC have they have a lot of potential, but it's both on the upside and downside. So your risk reward is going to be great on both sides. And it's going to be very hard to, maintain your risk management on a stock that, let's say, has 14 million in float like CYCC and has a lot of we saw it the last few days. It's moved range-wise up and down like $3-4. The float's very small, so I've found in my past trading those type of stocks with the smaller floats, it's harder to maintain risk. If you're risking this amount, the stock can drop on you very, very quick. We're going to get into some of the easier plays I'm looking at right now. As of now, we're looking at some of the hotter ones. This is another COVID-19 play, MBY. This one is a smaller price stock, MBY, gapping up about 110% this morning in pre-market. Already coming up to testing its highs here at 170 in pre-market. Taking a look at its past chart history, we're going to take a look at that. This is going to get some guys excited. So you take a look at this past chart history. What do you guys notice? You notice that it can get pumped. I mean, on good volume, for instance, this day right here, on good volume, 50 million shares traded, this stock went from $1 up to $3.50. So it can go 3 to 4x intraday, MBY. And as of right now, we're just at $1.50. But what do we want to? What else do we notice? Taking a look at the past chart history on MBY, we notice that every single time this thing makes a big move, it gives it all back. Every single time. Way back here, came up, tested 200-day, gave it all back. Push up, gave it all back. Upper shadow here, gave it all back. Every single time, it gives it all back. We're going to see 150 resistance on this. Let's draw our price action line right here so you guys can see that. 150, it tested recently. 150 right there. We draw our little price action line right there. We see 150 resistance across the board. The last couple times that got a move, it hit 150. So it's already it's holding above 150. If we were going to play that, I'd play that as the risk under 150 most likely. If it, because prior resistance turns into support, you guys know that. So we'll see what happens in BY. Another COVID-19 play. All right, check that off. We've gone over EROS, we've gone over CYCC, we've gone over MBY. We're trucking along. If some of you guys are just now joining, want me to quickly review something that we just went over, I'm happy to do that as well. AVCO just popped up at 8:30. So typically news does come out around 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, in those 30-minute marks. So AVCO, let's pull that one up. MBY coming up to that 170. So interesting there. See what's going to happen. AVCO is pulling back quite a bit right now. This one does interest me. AVCO, they came out with news. They achieved a major milestone advancing immunotherapeutic program towards combating cytokine storm. I don't know what any of this means, but you guys are hearing it. Storm associating with COVID-19. I know what that means. So lung damage and mortality. So they achieved a major milestone and, with COVID-19 related. So you don't have to understand everything going on with the headline. Like I said, there's 3 types of analysis. We're going over fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and then we want to go over trader analysis as well. So we want to see the type of volume, what's the overall sentiment that most traders are thinking, because 90% of people are thinking one way. Well, get ready for the stock to do the opposite. So AVCO, COVID-19. Let's take a look. It's about a 22 million in float stock. Let's take a look at his chart real quick. I know this one's kind of fading on off right now. It can easily turn around when the market opens on up. Let's take a look at his past chart history and the reason why it did fail at that 250 level. So we just drew. I just did this a few minutes ago. We drew a price level right here at 250. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. 250 is going to be pretty major resistance. You're looking at this chart. 250 is going to be pretty major resistance. Yeah, so the last couple times it has tested that 250 area a couple times, 265, then 250 here, and already in pre-market it has hit 250. 250 is a very tough resistance level to break through. But if it does break through that area, we're going to have pretty clear skies ahead up to about a gap to fill up to 320. So I'd say if we could get back up to 250, I think 320 is not, I think that's pretty reasonable on AVCO. Another COVID-related news, we got several, CYCC, MBY, and AVCO this morning with news on the COVID. Now, if you guys don't know with these scanners, if you're just now joining, we have gap up, gap down, market summary, bear scan watch list, intensity scanners. These are more for when the market's live. Looking for intense moves. One of my favorites is this bear scan watch list right here. This is providing us with stocks that are overbought conditions. Now, one of the ones I'm looking at on there for this morning is going to be SGRY. And I will tell you why. Now, this one doesn't have any news coming up this morning, and the bear scan watch list doesn't necessarily find the news. It's just finding overbought conditions. So let's take a look at the daily chart really quick on SGRY. What's going on here? Why is this one popping up on the overbought scanner? Well, this one had, look at this volume that came in. It's finding abnormal volume. Now, when we find abnormal volume relative to its average trading day, that means overbought or oversold conditions are moving in, right? Abnormal volume, lots of volume moving in, this one way or the other. So this one's coming up to its 250-day moving averages, up towards about 1050. Actually, it's sitting at 1010 in pre-market right now. Now we got a trend line drawn on the last few days here that's looking pretty bearish at the moment. Let me zoom out here for you guys. So on Friday, we had a pretty nice trend line going on here. And we had a lot of buyers coming in at the close. Now, why this is important is a lot of buyers coming in here from 975 up to 1122. And a lot of these guys are underwater at the moment. They were thinking over the weekend the stock's going to get a gap up. It's going to be looking nice. The market's going to be gapping up. Well, guess what? It's not gapping up. Nothing going on here. So this one's been fading on off a little bit. And what's going to go on when the market normally opens is these guys are going to end up selling their position. We're going to see a little bit of fade. Then all these guys that were buying at 960, 970, we'll see if that happens. I'm looking for a pop up towards 1050. So it's going to be pretty strict risk for me. I got that 250-day at about 1050. And I'll probably risk up towards like 1075 on it if I do take this trade. If we get a solid pop on it out of the gates, I would like to risk, around where it was in after hours on Friday. So we'll see how fast it is. I want to start it with a starter position. That's why you start with a feeler position, just to feel the stock, see what it's going to do, see what type of volume is going to be on the stock. But SGRY, I like this trend. It cracked it. Let's see if it's going to hold it. I'd like a pop up towards that trend line at the start of the day. And then that will be a nice little play there. Other than SGRY and just, keeping an eye on some of these other COVID-19 related plays, just going to be watching the scanners, see what pops on up and see what, sells on off. And that's going to wrap up our pre-market analysis this morning. Now, I don't even know. We got seven people in here this morning. Okay. Well, that's better than 0 people in here. At one point, we had about 40 to 50 in here, and then I just been trading off the scanners. But I do enjoy doing this with you guys. It's beneficial for you guys, so I don't mind doing it in the morning. If you guys like the live stream, hit the like button. I'll see if I can do it a little bit more this week. Can probably do it tomorrow. But let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to wrap this up probably within the next 5 minutes. Catna, what's going on? No live day trading? As in, like, videos, Here's the thing. Last week, like I said, last week was difficult for me because I've been babysitting and I was working on my shed every single day last week. But I do want to do some live trading this week. Also, I want to do some more educational content as well. I like to mix things up a little bit. I like these morning live trades. I like making educational, different kinds of content. I like the live trading as well. I like all of it. And whatever's beneficial to you guys, I'm down to do. It doesn't really matter to me. Anytime someone asks a question about something, I'm more than happy to make a video on it or help you guys out in any way. Doesn't bother me one bit. Thank you, Kat. No, I appreciate it. I'm not really that smart. I'm just very. I've just been doing this every day for 4 years. So once you do it for a while, you'll pick it up. Anything you do for a while, it gets a lot easier. Doesn't take smarts. A lot of smart people don't succeed as far as trading goes, just because it doesn't take smarts. What it takes is discipline. It takes discipline, takes good risk management. It takes not taking no for an answer. It takes a lot. Eric, price action video? Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Price action is king. I'll tell you why, because you don't even have to look at the level 2. You don't need the level 2. You don't need the times and sales. You don't need anything else other than the chart and the price action on the day. You really don't. Because why is that? Because the chart is telling you what the times of sales is saying. Like the time of sales level 2, the chart's already telling you that. I don't even really need to look at the float anymore, to be honest. I hardly look at the floats just because once you're doing this for a while, you know what the floats are relative to the price action. But that's a good idea, doing a video like that. I think we will do that. Hey, we got 10 in here now. Guys, I just wrapped up the morning. Rewind it. Or I can go back over what I'm looking at this morning if you guys want, really quick. We got about 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes before I really have to go. Absolutely, Eric. But Katna, I hope that makes sense because I promise you I'm not a smart person. I'm just focused and disciplined, work very hard at, being where I'm at now, essentially, with trading. Anybody can do it. Trust me, most people will get there and be a much better trader than I am, way faster than I got there. I mean, I've been doing this for over 4 years now. Most people are going to figure out their way in like 2 years or less. I guarantee it. Most people do. All right, so CYCC, MBY, and AVCO are the COVID-19 related plays today, for those just now joining. So throw those up on your watch list for sure. We're going to be watching those. SGRY is my short sell candidate. Pull that up real quick again. This one, it cracked that trend line in pre-market this morning. I'm looking for a pop back up to 1050, 1060. For a short, going to be very disciplined here though. And here's something else I like, guys. When there's many different levels of resistance that complement each other. So we have this trend line that it cracked at 1050, but not only that, if we look at the 3-year chart, we got the 200-day and 50-day here as well. So we have many different variables, levels of resistance support to be looking at. I like that. Now, is this 100% going to work out? Absolutely not. Nothing is 100% in the market, but there are high probability setups, just like in poker. Are your pocket pair of aces going to work every single time? Absolutely not. But a large amount of the time, they are going to work. So it's just the same thing there. But if you guys liked this live stream, hit that like button. I'll try to do it again tomorrow. Takes me a little bit of time to get all this set up in the morning, but I don't mind it. Not at all. This is my favorite part of the day. Any questions before we wrap it up, guys? Any more questions? Brad, what is going on? I'm not kidding, Brad. When I started up this morning, I was like, I wonder if Brad will show up, because you were around when we were doing this 6 months ago, and you've been loyal. I appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot. Okay, here's a quick little... You guys notice how I got a green background behind my scanners? So when I make live trading videos, it's very easy for me to pull out which scanner I'm using, because these serve as a green screen. So I can actually key out that background and just pull a scanner, whichever one I was using, and edit it into my video. Makes it much easier. Just little trivia. But that is going to wrap up the trading day. Brad, I think you were late today. I'm a little disappointed. We already did our analysis. Awesome, Brad. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man. we're going to do this again tomorrow at about 9 o'clock. We'll do it again. I think I want to keep it up. I mean, some days I can't do this, guys, because I got like a 4-month-old. But we'll figure it out. I want to try to do this as much as possible. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. All right, guys. Lates.